any of those work. Well, for more on this, let's welcome in the host of the Trish Regan Show and the editor-in-chief of TrishIntel.com, Trish Regan. Trish, always good to see you. Thanks for coming on with us. So there's nothing that the president can do to lower food or gas prices? Come on.
Yeah, no, come on. It's like he's really trying to pass the buck here. It's the Fed's fault. Well, you know what? It is partly the Fed's fault, but I still get back to the blame being on the president. He did say the buck stops here, except it doesn't. Look, there's a lot of things he could do. This isn't that hard. For starters, for goodness sakes, tell people you want to open up American energy, right? We have all this potential here to be energy independent. We were energy independent, and now we're groveling over there to Saudi Arabia. As you saw in today's news, he's all excited. The Biden administration is throwing a parade because Saudi Arabia is going to up, OPEC is going to up the amount of oil they're putting on the market every day. I mean, we have ways of fixing this here, Lindsay. He's decided not to, for whatever reason. He wants all green energy. Okay, fine. You know what? Go with your green energy, but don't completely negate what you can do on the traditional energy front so that Americans aren't feeling this as much as they are.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great if you listened to you, Trish? JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, he spoke at a banking conference in New York City yesterday where he delivered I would say a dire warning for our U.S. economy. Listen.
It's a hurricane. Right now it's kind of sunny. Things are doing fine. You know, everyone thinks the Fed can handle this. That hurricane is right out there down the road coming our way. We just don't know if it's a minor one or Superstorm Sandy or Sandy or Andrew or something like that. And you better brace yourself.
Yikes. I mean, this sounds terrible, Trish. There's a lot of talk about a recession. I know that Americans are concerned about it. Is this situation getting any better before this hurricane takes place? I mean, what should Americans be doing to prepare for this right now?
Look, I mean, you want to save your money. You want to make sure that you are protecting your money however you can from all this inflation. It's hard to do sort of in the near term, right? Over the next 3 to 6 months. It's easy to talk about it long term. There's plenty of strategies for doing that. But I think people just need to be very aware of what is coming our way. Look, Lindsay, on the plus side, we got a really low unemployment rate, right? That's remarkably low. The question is, how long does it stay like that? Because companies now, they're starting to feel it. They're noticing that people aren't spending as much because they're spending so much at the gas pumps. And so they don't have as much discretionary income, which means companies aren't going to make as much money, which means the stock price goes down. I mean, this has, kind of a domino effect. I don't know how the Fed lands this plane. I don't know how Joe Biden lands this plane. I mean, they're raising rates 50 basis points at a time. It kind of sucks a lot of money out of the economy. It causes a slowdown. And typically when you're in a rate rising environment, Jamie Dimon's absolutely right. You run the risk of serious problems. I will say this, too, about Jamie Dimon, super smart guy, totally a straight shooter. And that was not a political commentary he was making. And by the way, nor is mine, for that matter. I get frustrated with the administration because some of this was so preventable and, frankly, quite fixable. But he's not being political there. He's just saying this is the reality. So I think Americans need to pay attention to that and need to think about their spending and saving accordingly.
According to a new survey from the BMO Index, which measures how consumers feel about their financial progress, inflation is causing 25% of Americans to delay their retirement. In fact, 57% of Americans have either reduced their savings or their retirement savings to combat with inflation. And 80% of Americans have had to change their purchasing habits, which does include buying groceries and driving less. I mean, these are basic things. Yet this week we had Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen admit that she was wrong about her inflation predictions a year ago. Listen.
Well, look, I think I was wrong then about the path that inflation would take. As I mentioned, there have been unanticipated and large shocks to the economy that have boosted energy and food prices and supply bottlenecks that have affected our economy badly that I at the time didn't fully understand.
All right, Trish, only about 30 seconds, sadly, for you left. But do you think that Yellen should lose her job over this?
Yes, yes. I think the entire economic team just needs to go. By the way, I mean, I wish they could get rid of Powell, too, for that matter. I wonder why he was willing to print so much money. Was that all about getting reappointed? Did it have anything to do with Janet Yellen, who used to be his boss, now over at Treasury? Listen, this was not hard to see. I've been predicting it for the last year and a half. I said, watch out, you're going to get major inflation. Anyone who understood basic economics saw this one coming. So you've got to ask yourself, what was going on with Janet Yellen?
Great question. Great question. Trish Regan, always good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Good to see you, Lindsay.